Hey, welcome back to the Sunday Reset. It's the middle of July, and if your house looks like anything like the families that I work with, the beautiful summer schedule you planned in June has mostly dissolved into screen time, snacks, and the negotiation about when things are going to get done. That's not failure, that's summer. But here's what I want to talk about today. There's a version of summer where your child doesn't fall behind and you don't lose your mind trying to keep up. It doesn't require a rigid schedule, it requires one shift. Let's get into it. This week, we're talking about systems and why summer is actually the perfect time to build them. One of the five pillars in the Raised Scholar framework is systems beat willpower. And what that means is simple. We can't rely on motivation to get things done, especially with kids. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings change. A system, a constant rhythm that doesn't require anyone to feel like doing it, that's what keeps learning moving, even when everything else feels unpredictable. And summer is where a lot of families lose that thread. Not because they stopped caring, because the system dissolved when school ended. The system that carried your child through the school year doesn't disappear in June. You just have to rebuild it for summer. Here's a shift that I want you to make this week. Stop trying to recreate the school year routine. You're not going to win that battle in July, and you shouldn't have to. Instead, build a summer rhythm, something lighter, more flexible, but still consistent enough that learning doesn't just stop. I call it the anchor and the float, two parts every day. The anchor is the one non negotiable, one learning activity every single day. Same general time. It doesn't have to be long 20 minutes of reading, a math practice page, a chapter of an audiobook. The point is, it happens. Not when your child feels like it, not after they finish the video game. It just happens because that's when it happens. The float is everything else. The activities, the fun, the flexibility, the unplanned adventures that make summer actually feel like summer, that part can be loose. That part can vary because the anchor already was held. Here's why it matters beyond the summer slide. What you're actually building when you keep a learning anchor through the summer is your child's relationship with consistency. You're teaching them through structure itself, not through a conversation about it. The learning is not just something that happens at school. It's a practice. It's something they do, even when it's Tuesday in July and everyone else is at the pool. That lesson doesn't show up on a report card this fall, but it shows up in sixth grade. It shows up in high school when they have to manage their own time with anyone standing over them. And it especially shows up when they go to college. It shows up when they're adults navigating their own lives and when they know how to keep going, even when no one is requiring them to do so. One anchor a day. That's it. Not a summer curriculum, a habit. And habits outlast every summer. Now, the question I always get, what if my child resists? What if they push back every day? My answer, they will at first, and then they won't because it stops becoming a negotiation. Resistance is the loudest when something is new. No one likes change. When the anchor is truly a non negotiable, no drama, no debate, just this is what we do, kids stop fighting it faster than most parents expect. You just have to hold the line the first week without it turning into a power struggle. That's the hardest part. And that's the only part. So here's this week's challenge. Pick your anchor, one learning activity, one specific time a day, and commit to it every day this week. Not every day this summer, just this week. 7 days. See how it feels. That's it. One anchor, 7 days, and tell me how it goes. You're listening to this on a Sunday, which means you still have today to decide what this week looks like before it decides for you. One anchor, one shift. That's it. That's all it takes. If you haven't already grabbed your free Raised Scholar Framework guide, this is the week to do so. It maps all five pillars, including this one, into one practical guide you can actually use. It's at raisingscholarsPodcast.com and it's completely free. I'm Jacquie Langworthy, and I'll see you next Sunday.